Good evening. This is Coach Sean, the Realtor, going above and beyond to help you find your dream home. Haven't been on in this capacity before, trying StreamYard, but just coming on to give some information real quickly about the real estate market. It is shifting. How does it compare to a year ago? How does it compare to 2 years ago? How does it even compare to just a few months ago? If you would look and you would do your research, you would find out it has shifted. And so if you watch the last few years, especially from 2020 to a certain point, it was a frenzy that was going on. And there was a frenzy of different multiple offers and 15 and 20 offers and homes going above asking price and buyers getting buyer fatigue because they could not find a place they were looking for. And so many people were losing hope and getting out of it. And now we got different things that are happening on, and it has shifted in a certain way. And so what we found, even if you look at statistics, is that 30.7% more supply is available this year than was the same time last year. And we understand that real estate is something that comes with supply and demand. And so when we got into COVID and we got released and we saw those interest rates begin to drop at historic lows, it brought demand up, but supply went down, and it made the housing prices go up. And also, looking at now some of the things that have happened, when you look at inflation, it's changed some things because the Fed have raised interest rates. It started out at 50 basis points. It went to 75 basis points. And so it's not the same now because it's affecting things, because now interest rates have gone up from the Fed. Now, they're not necessarily the same as your mortgage interest rate, but they do affect it in a certain manner. And so now what's happening is a lot of people are getting priced out of buying because interest rates have gone up. So it's supply and demand. And if you're going to understand even the real estate market, you got to understand it by the supply and demand and supply that's in the market. So if there's under 3 months supply, you are in a seller's market. And so in the seller's market, you're finding, well, if you're a seller, you'll find you'll get above asking price. You don't have to get seller concessions. You'll get multiple offers on your home. People are waive contingencies and things along those lines. If it's 3 to 6 months, it's a balanced market. But if it's also 6 or months or above, then you'll find it's a seller's market when you find yourself being able to get seller concessions. People are paying your closing costs. You're getting a better deal. You're not paying way above asking price. You're not having to waive your inspection period and not know what's going on with that home and still buy it. So it's different things that are going on. Right now, what we're seeing is demand is going down. Home prices now are going at asking price, or if you look now, some of them are even dropping their prices. Of all the homes listed last month in July, it's interesting now that 19.1% of them had a reduction in price. Is that attributed to demand? Well, one of the things that happened in this frenzy that we had was that home prices, sellers were actually looking to get way more than what their home were worth. So they were taking those prices way up. Now they're forced to price it right. If you're working to sell your home, you want to make sure you price it right, because if you don't price it right, you have to understand that in this age we're in, the technology age, people are actually looking at prices of home. They're doing their own comparative analysis. If they got a good real estate agent, they're doing CMAs, which we call comparative market analysis, and those sellers. So you can't necessarily list it for way more, especially when this market is now shifting and it's coming to be a more balanced market where you're not getting the same things you're getting. And what you find, if you overprice it, you won't get as many showings. If you don't get as many showings, you won't get as many offers. If you don't get as many offers, obviously you won't be able to sell that home. And so we saw some of the things that we got spoiled with because homes were going on the market and going off in one day. But the typical real market, normal market, homes stay on the market for 60 to 120 days and then sell. And so it hasn't gotten to that point yet, but we're moving in there. Buyer sentiment is low. If you look at it, construction permits at the lowest that they have been in 2 years, which means we're not getting as much new construction. I've seen different situations where people who were started in construction because of inflation, all of a sudden now they thought the home would be one price, it got to be another price, and they're not able to be able to buy it. Mortgage applications throughout the United States has been at its lowest since the year 2000. And so you have to figure this out. Which scenario fits you? Is it a market that was in a frenzy, which had 15 to 20 offers? It was competitive. They were waiving inspections. You had low interest rates at almost an all-time low, but homes were going 20 to 50,000 above asking price. So you were actually, and people were waiving that and paying appraisal gap. So if it appraised low, they would pay the gap to be able just to get into the home, and it was just a frenzy. Or do you want a market that now we're getting to where it's shifting, and the sellers are now possibly going to pay even closing costs or pay something towards your closing costs, what we call seller concessions. You're not having to waive contingencies. Yes, the interest rates have gone up, but in them going up, it's really back to more of a normal kind of place that it's been in. So should you buy now? Well, I would tell you this: it depends on your situation. Everybody has to make a decision for them, what's best for them. Many are recognizing that their rents are higher and they're going up, and they feel like, okay, I want to be able to actually pay something towards something that I'm investing in, and I want to have equity in my home. I want to see an investment that's appreciating as opposed to me paying somebody else's thing. So I'd like to have equity. If you looking to be in a short-term stay, I would say rent. But if you're looking for something long-term, then it's possible that actually buying is something for you. You have to figure out the timing. You have to figure out when what's some things you can do. Well, a couple things you can do. You can save money for a down payment. Put away a portion of your funds. I always think that you actually should have 3 to 6 months reserves, even when you're buying a home, or just for anything from your salary, depending on what's going on. Technically, by statistics, they're saying we're in a recession because 2/4 of negative GDP. But obviously, there's a lot of spin and political jargon that's going on that's changing that. So I would tell you, prepare, have preparation. But here's what you need to have to be able to buy a home. If you're buying a home, you need to have a down payment of, if you get an FHA loan, it's going to be 3.5%. If you get a conventional loan, it can be as low as 3%. USDA VA loans, those things actually you can get for zero down. And then there are down payment assistance programs. If you go to ihda.org, they'll show you those. So there's different ways to get a down payment, different things. Best way is to be able to save the money to be able to do it. Some of the programs that you may get, the down payment assistance, could make your interest rate a little bit higher. You can get a gift letter from a family member that a family gives you. Some people actually use even find out from their jobs if their 401k, if they borrow from it, if it would give them a penalty or not, and they use that. It's what works best for you. I would also tell you, get your credit together. One of the biggest things I see that's happening is that people want to buy, but when they find out some things with their credit, it ultimately adversely affects them in that. So get your credit together. Get your credit card below 30%. Actually, it's even better if you get it below 10%. It makes your credit actually better. So begin to do that. Work on your credit. Your credit score is like your when you're going into college with your college transcripts. You get more opportunities the higher your grades are. So the people who have the better college transcripts get more opportunities and maybe better things, and your credit can take you a long way. Begin to work on it. Pay your bills on time. I think 35% of what your credit is on time. So use that. Do your research about the home buying process. Pre-approvals and the documents that are going to need it. They're going to ask you for 2 years taxes, 2 years W-2s. They're going to ask you for probably 2 months of bank statements and the last 2 pay stubs, things along those lines. Talk to a lender. If you don't know if you want to do it right now, talk to a lender. If you contact me, I can give you a lender that can assist you and help you. But begin to talk to a lender and find out where you are in the process now, and so that you can figure out when time comes for you to do it, what you need to do. It's a good idea to do that. Talk to an agent that can guide you through the process so you can understand about mortgages and appraisals and inspections and all those different things. I'm willing to do a free consultation if that's some information that you want to have. But prepare yourself now. You have to figure out when is right, but you also have to plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So you have to plan for where you want to go to and what you want to see happen. This is just a housing market. It's shifted. It's not with those multiple offers that were happening back then. It's now where it's becoming more of you being able to buy a home, but you have to figure out kind of when the time is right for you. If this information is helping you, please like, Please follow, please subscribe. I'd love to bring you more information like this to help you in your process. If you need someone, if you need a free consultation, I'd love to talk to you about the home buying process. And thank you for watching this. And as always, God bless.